Welcome back everyone, and as promised in the last video I will show you how to transfer data from one view controller to another in iOS. So let's create a new Xcode project and single view application, and let's name this transfer of data. Let's create our project and save in our directory. I will do some setting for myself. Let's change this to iPhone 6s and remove some code which we don't need right now. So let's see, this is our main.storyboard. So here by default we are presented with only a single view controller, but we need one more view controller if we want to go from one to second view controller. So basically in the right side panel you can search for view controller, and here you can see that it is at the top. So just hold and drag this view controller here. So you can see that now we have two different view controller in our storyboard. So basically for the first controller we have a file called viewcontroller.swift. So now we have to create a file for this second view controller. So basically right click here and click new file and make sure that it is iOS and CocoaTouch class. Just create next, and here it should be a subclass of UI view controller, and let's name this file to be second view controller and press next and create. So here you can see that we have got another file which is second view controller, which is basically for this second view controller that we have just dragged from this object library. So now what we will do is we will create a button in our first view controller, and whenever we press that button we will transform from first to second view controller. So let's take a button and drag it. So let's search for button and drop it in the middle and double click to edit. Take me to the second view controller. So this is our button, and after clicking this we want to go to the second view controller. So basically for doing a connection between the two view controllers we require something called segue in iOS. So now we will learn how we can create a segue. It is a very simple step. Here you can see that this is our view controller. You can either click from here or from here, both are the same things. You have to control click and drag it to our second view controller, and you can see that it will automatically open a short pop-up for you, so in which you can see that it is a manual segue, and these different type of segues are available. Now what we will do is I will show you how to create a show segue, and you can try these different segues. The method is same, only the method of appearing the view controller is different. So now I will click this. So you can see that it has created a new segue. So whenever we are clicking the segue, you can see that it is highlighting the view controller, which basically means that whenever we click in this view controller we will transform from this to this view controller. So now we will code this in our file. So basically first we have to connect this button as an IB action, so that whenever this button is pressed the function will run. So let's click this view controller and place this double circle sign. So what we have to do is we have to simply control click from here to here to create an IB action. Let's name this button pressed and press enter. So basically this is a segue, and we also have to give an identifier for a particular segue. So let's give this an identifier transfer. because this we will use in our code as an ID. So in our first view controller.file, this is our, oh, we have created an IB outlet by mistake, but we need an IB action. So what we'll do is we will again go to our storyboard, and now we will create an IB action for the button. So again I will control drag from here to here, and I will change this from outlet to action, and this will be button pressed action, and this is a UI button, and sender is none. So let's connect. Now close this and open our view controller file. So you can see that this is our function. So basically we need two different things to perform a transfer from first view controller to second view controller. So the first thing is perform segue. So just type here perform, instead you should type segue, and you can see that this is the method perform segue, and press enter. So it is asking for two different arguments. The first one is with identifier. So you remember that we have created an identifier for a segue, so we have to enter that identifier here. And sender is, suppose we want to transfer any data, but right now we are not transferring any data, so let's set this to nil. This is the first requirement for transferring from view controllers. So now the second is prepare for segue function. So just type prepare, and here you can see that this is the method prepare for segue, and press enter. So in this what we will do is we will create our object of the second view controller, and then we will transfer our functionality from first view controller to second view controller. So I think this video is becoming very big, so I will tell you about this function in our next video. Thank you for watching.